Hey friends, we're in Ephesians chapter 4, verse 22, and I'm giving this verse its own video because, and really what you need to do is watch this video and the next one, verse 23, really together, because what Paul is doing is providing this big contrast between what we used to be and what we are in Christ. And so he says in verse 22, that in reference to your former way of life before you became a believer in Jesus Christ, the way you behaved, the conduct, you are to rid yourselves of the old self. And that is obviously very difficult because this is the way we used to think, the way we used to behave, the habits and all of this stuff that were part of our character, were part of our life. They were our way of life, as he says at the beginning. We've got to rid ourselves, get rid of that part of us. And he says, which is that old self, which is being corrupted. And I'm not even going to try to pronounce this Greek word because phthero. Besides meaning corrupted, it also means spoiled, ruined, defiled, and destroyed. That is being destroyed. That way of life, that old self is being corrupted. It's being spoiled, ruined, withered, destroyed, defiled in accordance with the lusts, and it's epithymia, which obviously we know what lust is. It's a forbidden desire, but it also is cravings or longings. So it's when we're burning for something, when we really want something. So it's our old self, which is being corrupted in accordance with the lusts of deceit, apate, and it means delusion. And the reason I'm giving this verse its own video is because there is an incredibly important thing to understand. And Paul almost says it, but I think he certainly alludes to it. Sin will never give what it promises. When we engage in sinful behavior, when we do things that we're drawn to, we're tempted to do, and our lusts are really ramped up, and we're trying to pursue something that we shouldn't pursue, we have to remember that sin will never produce what it promises. It is delusion to think that we will get what we want when we engage in sinful behavior. I heard one minister say, he said, every time I'm tempted to sin, I pray that I would remember how I felt the last time I sinned so that I'll never sin again. Because what do you feel after you sin? You feel guilt, you feel shame, you feel a distance between you and God. And so he says the best way to handle that is to pray when you're tempted that you will feel what you felt after you sinned the last time. You'll feel that guilt, feel that shame, so you'll never want to sin again. You'll never want the distance between you and God. You'll certainly not want to engage in behavior that won't produce what it promises. It promises fulfillment. It promises, passion and all of this stuff. And the reality is it never produces what it promises. So that's Ephesians chapter 4, verse 22. We need to rid ourselves of our old self, our old way of life, because it is a corrupt way of life. It is full of deceit. It's full of delusion to think that it will give us what we need. So that is Ephesians chapter 4, verse 22. And then what I want you to do is I'm going to post both of these videos on Ephesians 4:23 today because I want you to see the contrast that Paul makes here. So we're going to cover Ephesians 4:23 next.